Hello, everyone. I want to say a big thank you to Elevate. I want to say thank you to Duncan. I want to say thank you to Will, to Ali, and all data team in Elevate. I want to say kudos to all the speakers that have spoken ahead of me and one that spoken before me and the ones that are still coming up next. I want to say kudos to you all. So I'll be speaking on data governance and capabilities in Africa. And this is in context to a challenge that I participated in Africa's data governance and it's a challenge I participated in. To start, I would like to ask several questions. So I just want you to put the questions in mind. So, one of the questions is, I would like to, are the data sets in your country, are they openly available and easily accessible? Are there institutions that support the collection, the management, and sharing and use of data in ways that contribute to sustainable development? So these are some of the questions that the organizers of this challenge wanted to know, and they wanted to have answers to how data policy and practice are unfolding in different regions and continents in the world. So in context, the reason why I was really interested in this topic was for quite some time, it has really been difficult for citizens in my home country, Nigeria, to be precise, to get their permanent voters card. And this is a card that gives them the opportunity, give them the right for them to exercise their franchise, and that's their voting right. But peculiar issue and the interesting thing about this issue was the data has already been collected in the previous exercise, but due to regulations and due to institutional factors and a lot of things around the practice of data governance and sharing in Nigeria, it's now become so extremely difficult that it's now the practice is now disenfranchising citizens for them to vote and cast their vote. So another scenario is whereby commercial banks are mostly marketers of commercial banks, bank staff are making use of data from existing customers. They go behind their back and use this data to create new checking accounts just to meet management expectations. And this is against data practice. This is against the normal procedures in data privacy and data sharing in private organizations. So these are some of the issues that actually gained my interest when I saw the challenge, and I really wanted to participate in the challenge. So the data was actually into two modules, and the two most important modules are governance and capability. Then we have availability and use and impact. So when I downloaded the data, I started doing the normal procedure of trying to get to know about the data. So one thing I noticed was the data was very sparse. A lot of countries, mostly in Africa, had no frameworks, and these are frameworks that was used to score each country and each region on certain questions that were asked about the data practice in this country. And some of these frameworks are like data management. Some of these frameworks are open data policies. Some of them are individuals who have access to this data. Are they trained? Are they skilled enough? Are there open portals for people to actually access this data? But countries in Africa were not, they didn't have frameworks for them to do this. And again, I noticed that only 28 out of 52 African countries were surveyed, and the global average score for all the countries in the world was 34.4. And this shows that a lot still needs to be done in globally for each country in order to improve the practice of effective data governance so that for development purposes. Again, I also noticed that USA and Turkmenistan had the highest and lowest score, respectively, and Europe. At all European countries really scored really high. They were above the global average, but except for Belarus, Belarus was below the average. So to go back, I would like to talk about the sparsity of the data because this actually affected my analysis because of how the data was passed. I wanted to make use of correlation matrix to actually check how each framework was correlated within each other. So this would actually make me bring up questions, either questions like a country whereby there are legal frameworks, there are regulations, are they able to score really high when they have legal frameworks and there are no institutions that allow for data to be openly available and openly and easily accessible? So I wanted to check that, but I noticed that countries, there were sparse and there was just no frameworks and limited data. So I was not able to do that. I was not able to take that approach. And the reason why I want to take the approach is, for example, let's say for countries like Russia, like North Korea, that have heavy regulation practices, it actually affects how you want to. It actually affects the scores of countries like that. So again, after the analysis and things like that, I decided to pick a proper choice of charts to actually visualize the data. And one thing is that I wanted to make use of this aesthetically beautiful chart. I wanted to make use of a lollipop bar chart, and the bar chart requires me to make use of arrow code, to make use of arrows. So I was not too versed in arrow in arrow and how to code with arrow, so I was unable to go far, and this actually affected my delivery because it was late to the submission, whereby I decided to just make use of a very simple chart. So that's why I believe what I want you to learn from this my presentation is that sometimes simple is better. So I believe charts should be easily understood, even though we visual designers always want to make use of aesthetically beautiful charts to our audience, want to present something that's beautiful for social media and for it to go wide and viral. But I believe simple is always better. Simple communicates more and communicates deep. So I made use of a dot strip plot chart, and the charts was simple, but it was actually it was deep. It was able to show the score of each region. In addition, how each country in a particular region was ranked in each region. And to end it all, I would just like to make note of why data visualization, why data governance is very, very important, how we should why we should all take note about this. Because like I said, for example, in a certain situation whereby countries have a very strong regulatory practice in their data sharing framework, it's very difficult for countries like that to actually trade among themselves. And this is very important for development. It's important for commerce, and it's important for global development and things like that. So and this is the end of my talk. I want to say thank you and kudos to you all.